her never carrying a balance is contributing to the 3-digit FICO score. So it's increasing your 3-digit score. That's good. But if you're somebody that is looking to do an application, you're looking to apply for a card, you're looking to apply for a loan, that's not necessarily helping the actual health of the credit profile. What's going on, guys? As you can see on the screen, I'm on creditcards.com, and the title of this article is "My Credit Score is 847. Why was I denied a card?" Right? Most of the time when we're on social media and we're trying to figure out how to get a better credit score, we seem to be so preoccupied with that 3-digit FICO score that we tend to forget about everything else. Notice that on this channel, we tend to say credit profile as opposed to credit score. So last week, hopefully you already watched that video where we kind of discussed what's going on right now that's causing the banks to be scared. Because they're scared, because of the interest rates, because of all the different dynamics that right now are impacting the banking industry. The moral of the story of that video was, guys, make sure to tighten up your credit profile. Pay attention to the fine details. Don't slack, don't take any shortcuts, but make sure your credit profile is constructed on a solid foundation prior to doing any sort of credit card applications, or if you're trying to do any funding sequence. Make sure you do your homework ahead of time. Now, and I'm not sure if I did a breakdown of this particular article, but this is just another great example of what do I mean about credit profile, constructing it versus just obsessing over a 3-digit score. So I'm going to give you guys the Cliff Note breakdown of this article. So basically, this is a woman here who was looking at the Wells Fargo Active Cash card, right? So she had a credit card in mind. She knew how she wanted to take care of the spend. This card has a nice sign-up bonus. There were probably other perks that she saw that was like, okay, this is the card for me. She has an 847 credit score. 847. And if you know anything about credit, that's pretty much perfect if only thing you're looking at is the 3-digit FICO score, right? If the only thing you're looking for is the 3-digit FICO score, this is like the holy grail, right? But what's causing her to have an almost perfect 3-digit FICO and still get denied for this Wells Fargo Active Cash card? And the reason why I'm bringing up this article now today is because I'm actually working with a couple people who are in similar situations, very similar situations, but I'm going to give you the example on those guys later on in the video. But let's stick to this article. She has an 847 score. She does the application, and instead of getting the instant approval, she got an email saying that she was denied and that a letter will come to follow. A week later comes back, right? Now, if you've been watching any of the previous videos, at this point, she waited for the letter in the mail. Our guys, we pick up the phone, we call that reconsideration line, and we try to get on the phone with someone that is a decision maker to get that reversed, right? Especially if you're applying for these tier 1, which are the Bank of America's, U.S. Bank, Chase, Wells Fargo, like your major nationwide banks, your national banks. You know, they're more conservative. There are certain things that if they see on your credit reports and they see in your credit profile, they may get scared and say, you know what, it's not worth the risk, denied. Right, so let's continue reading here. So she got the letter in the mail, and it stated she was denied because the ratio of credit bureau trades with a balance greater than 0. We look at the ratio of open and closed credit accounts that have a balance greater than 0 in the last 6 months. Apparently, because I never carry a balance on my accounts. Let's zoom in because this is really what I want you guys to pay attention to here. Let's pull that up. Apparently, because I never carry a balance on my accounts, a major contributor to my high credit score, right? So you can see her never carrying a balance is contributing to the 3-digit FICO score. So it's increasing your 3-digit score. That's good. But if you're somebody that is looking to do an application, you're looking to apply for a card, you're looking to apply for a loan, that's not necessarily helping the actual health of the credit profile. Another example is, and you guys heard me talk about this before, was authorized users. A lot of people pay to get authorized users. The authorized user accounts may increase your 3-digit FICO score, depending on which profile or depending on which scoring model. It may increase that score, but depending on where you're applying, many banks may not consider that authorized user when it comes to making the decision on like a credit card application. So it's not really going to help you. This is a similar situation. The reason codes, when they deny you, they're telling you and they're giving you insight about what they like and what they don't like. So if the only thing that you needed was just a 3-digit FICO score, then she wouldn't have got denied. Some of the people that I'm working with right now, they wouldn't be getting denied, or they wouldn't be getting approved for very small or very low limit credit cards. This is just another reason, if we didn't need another reason, but this is just another reason why your 3-digit FICO score is not everything. It's not telling the whole picture. And the banks, especially now, again, based off the video that we watched last week, they're going to be paying attention to things that are more than just your 3-digit FICO. Apparently, because I never carry a balance on my accounts, which is a major contributor to my high credit score, the issuer didn't give me a card. Perhaps the bank thought it wouldn't make any money from me in interest charges. And side note, the banks actually make most of their money every time you swipe, because the merchant has to pay the credit card issuer. So every time you swipe, that's really how the banks are making a lot of money on these revolving credit cards. Or did Wells Fargo assume I was card churning? Your credit report, whether it's a real life underwriter, like going through and looking at your credit report, or if it's a computer system, if they see certain things, they're automatically going to assume, oh, credit card churner, or scammer. So why does she think Wells Fargo was going to assume that she was card churning? Now, if you're not familiar with card churning, there are people out there that when they find a credit card offer, right? So you might get a credit card offer from American Express, Discover, US Bank, Navy Federal, right? Every couple of weeks, if not every couple of months, there's always a new or special sign-up bonus or some sort of incentive to get you to apply for a card, use the card, and get into the habit of using that card. Because remember, the more you swipe on your card, on your credit card, the more money Chase, Amex, Bank of America, the more money they make. So they want to get you excited about this card. They want to front load it, give you guys an incentive to start using the card. That way, that card can be your main card. So you can swipe more with Chase as opposed to Amex, or Discover as opposed to Citi, right? They want to buy your loyalty, basically. So let's say, for example, this Wells Fargo Active Cash, some people would apply and say, oh, where it gives me $200 in sign-up bonus. Okay, I'll take that $200. I'll spend $1,000 to get $200, and then once I get my $200, I'm not going to use this card anymore. I might cancel it. I might throw it in a drawer. I'm not going to use this card. Then they go ahead and apply for another card. They meet the sign-up bonus. They get the points or the statement credit or whatever it is that the card is offering, and then they put that card right back in the pocket. They never use the card. They cancel the card or whatever the case may be, but they're kind of playing the game. They're playing the system. So what that means is, if you're somebody that has a high 3-digit FICO score, high 700s, low 800s, congratulations, because you've been doing some good practices in order to get there. But remember, if you're somebody, especially now, if you're somebody that is looking to apply for funding sequence on your personal or your business, or any sort of credit product, make sure that you are leaving at least some sort of balance before the bank sends over that information over to the credit bureaus. Try to keep some of your revolving accounts, try to keep some of them with just a small balance. So every website you go to, I don't care if it's Credit Karma, NerdWallet, the Money Codes, everyone is always saying, like, keep your utilization under 30. I personally say keep it between 1 to 9. But notice how most of these like credit guru people, most of them don't say keep your balances 0. Like that's not what it is. The reason why I tell you guys keep it between 1 to 9 is because of this reason. If you have 5 credit cards, and let me actually swap to another page. And this one actually looks like one closer to somebody that I'm working with. Right, he has a 780, 810, 792, 30 plus accounts. The average age of his trade lines is 15 years and higher. Only has 2 inquiries, which is fantastic. No derogatory items. The credit limits on his cards are between 15 to 30K. But what's the problem? And this is a problem that we're seeing once he started to do a few of his applications. He wasn't getting the approvals that he was actually looking for. This is the reason. If you guys have 2 Amex cards, a couple Citi cards, a Chase Sapphire card, and you're not keeping a balance on any of the cards, that's painting a picture to the other banks that you don't need the credit. If you're not using the credit, you don't need the credit. And some of the tier 1 banks, and again, those are your Bank of Americas, your Chases, your Wells Fargo, if they initially approved you for a $25,000 credit card, like your limit is 25K, and you're not putting any spend on it, you're not using that card at all, don't be surprised if Bank of America goes ahead and slashes your credit limit, or don't be surprised if you get a letter in the mail saying that now that card is basically closed. That's something that people don't talk about more often. Everyone's excited about this play here, apply this way, apply like that, get your cards, get these credit cards. But just like I mentioned in the other video, if you're getting these high credit limits, make sure you're doing the practices in order to retain and keep those credit limits. And I know, and again, I spoke to a few people, guys, we come from backgrounds and neighborhoods where we're trying to get out of debt. Financial literacy wasn't really taught to us. So now that we kind of have our heads above water a little bit, we kind of swore, okay, I'm never going to leave it balanced. I'm never going to spend on my credit cards. I learned from Dave Ramsey to never carry debt. That's cool. And I'm not telling you guys to put yourself in debt just to try to play a game. What I am saying is make sure, be strategic when you do your applications. If you know in the next 3 to 6 months, you want to try to do a funding sequence to get $60,000, $80,000 for your business, make sure that on some of these cards, you're leaving, even if it's just $20, $50, paying your due date, but leaving a little bit of a balance. If you're doing that, then after a few months, when it's time to do your sequence, you're not going to get a situation like this, where you get an email from Wells Fargo or wherever bank you're looking to get some funding from, saying that you were denied, and then what was the reason? Remember, we always talk about the FICO reason codes, right? If you have multiple 6 figures in available credit limits and you're using 0%, why would Citi give you another $15,000, $20,000 card? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't even look like you use the credit. So use it or lose it. But if she kept some sort of balance on some of those cards, she would not have triggered those red flags, and she likely would have been approved for this Wells Fargo active cash. So guys, hopefully you understand a little bit where I'm coming from with building your credit profile, as opposed to, hey, I'm about to give you this play to boost your score 50 points, right? Let's change the way we talk. Let's change the vocabulary that we use, right? 3-digit FICO score is good, great. But the better question, how does your credit profile look? Is your credit profile strong enough? Are there red flags that are potentially sticking out that might cause you to get denied? I want us to think about our credit differently. Go down, ask questions, leave some comments, let me know your thoughts. If you've been in this situation, let me know down below, and I'm going to check you guys out in the next video. Peace. Hey, what's up, guys? If you're still watching and you're enjoying the content, click the link below and get access to my cheat sheet guide. It's a free PDF, how to get an 800 credit score without any gimmicks or fluff. With this info, you can start cleaning up your credit profile today.